Hi folks, Tony Kramer with PAK-IT-LITE hammocks. In this video I want to show you how to set up your PAK-IT-LITE hammock using the new support system. Now if you are familiar with the previous video that I did, I showed you how to set up your PAK-IT-LITE hammock using an older system. Well, things have changed since then. We now have a much lighter system, cuts your setup time in half. We also have introduced some ultralight hammocks as well as ultralight rain flies. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to set up the standard hammock as well as the standard rain fly using the new system. Now for most hammocks out on the market, it's a good idea to set your hammock up with the minimal amount of spacing between the trees that is allowable by the hammock. So if you have a hammock that is 11 feet, you want to set up in trees that are 12 to 13 feet apart. If you have a hammock that's 12 feet, maybe 13, 14 feet apart. Now my hammocks from toggle to toggle are 8.5 feet. So the minimal spacing on the trees is going to be anywhere from 9 feet to 15 feet. 15 feet is going to be the max. And the reason why you don't want to set up in trees that are too far apart is because of the amount of sag that is created by having your toggle so far off of the tree. You have more arc to travel down, so the hammock is going to sag more. In my hammocks, they're designed so that you lay flat. Now when you pick your trees, you want trees that are anywhere from 8 inches in diameter to 12 inches in diameter. That's pretty optimal. Now with my web system, you can go up to trees that are up to 21 inches in diameter. So I've already picked out these trees. This is my favorite camp spot overlooking the lake. So I know that these trees are about 10 feet apart, which is perfect for what I'm going to be doing. Now the first thing that I'm going to put up is the foot line. This is the one adjustable line that's going to go with the hammock where your feet are going to be hanging. Now when you set your straps up, you want to set them up at shoulder height. This just ensures that the hammock will be hanging properly and you have the right elevation so you can sit in it without having to jump up or be laying down on the ground. So I'm going to set these up where I measured about right there. Ensure that this is nice and tight. Now I'll go ahead and set up the head side. Just make sure that is shoulder height. Now there's a reason that this headline is only 12 inches long. The majority of your weight in your hammock is coming from your upper torso, not your legs. Your legs are a little bit lighter. So I want that weight as close to my support source as possible. Now I can go ahead and hang the hammock. Now, when you hang the hammock, of course you want the head section of the hammock, where your head's going, on this line. You'll know that by this loop right here and looking at the logo. We'll go ahead and get that set up. Now all you have to do is reach inside and find the foot loop, which is right here. I'll walk it over to the side and get it set up. Now as you're pulling your hammock out, just ensure that it's not twisted inside the stuff sack. You want to make sure that the ridge line is on the top and in line with that toggle. Okay, now we can go ahead and attach the foot line. The foot line, the web goes right over the toggle. And this is the only line that adjusts the entire system, right here. The way it works is the Amsteel Blue line is fed through itself. This tightens down once weight is added. Now just grab the toggle, push this way toward the tree on the toggle while you're pulling the line, and that tightens it up. Now if you want to take the system down, just remove the hammock, come back here, grab the line that's going through, pull it, and it adjusts the line back out. Just like so. Very, very easy. Now this illustrates how to set up a hammock with a fixed ridge line. The F.O.B and the Recon. To set up this system using the Lightfoot Scout and the Scout is a little bit different because these hammocks don't have a ridge line. That's where the cheater line comes back into play. Now, the cheater line that I have is just the line. I also sell the gear loft to go along with it as an option. It just gets sewn onto the line and it gives you some storage above the hammock. Let me show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put my hammock into place and then put the ridge line on, or the cheater line, which is going to act as the ridge line. And all this is going to do is it's going to tell me the proper placement of my toggles so I get the correct sag out of my hammock. Now, the cheater line is the same distance as the ridge line is on a fixed ridge line hammock like the F.O.B or the Recon. And that gives me the proper amount of sag that I need for the Scout and for the Lightfoot Scout. Now, the way my hammocks are designed, the way they're cut, the tighter you can get your ridge line, the better the hammock is going to hang and the flatter you'll be able to lay inside the hammock. All right, now it's time to go ahead and put the rain fly on, but before I do, let me go ahead and put my closed cell foam pad inside the hammock. Now, the hammock has pockets that line the inside. There's a pocket for the closed cell foam pad, and there's pockets on both sides of that you can put clothing. So first thing I want to do is go ahead and tuck the pad in. We'll start at the foot and then work our way up. And when you put the pad in, you want to make sure that it goes all the way to the end first. Then we can start putting the head in. So when I'm tucking the pad in, I want to make sure that it's all the way to the ends and up in the corners. It's not bunching anywhere. Now I can go ahead and empty my pack with all of the clothing that I won't need at night and stuff it in. Now what this does is it gets everything out of my pack, gives me a little bit more storage inside the hammock, and at the same time it also gives me more insulation. That's what these side pockets are designed for. And just any articles of clothing you've got, outerwear, down jackets, fleece, pants, and yes, even my socks and my underwear. Alright, now I can go ahead, zip it up, and we'll put the rain fly on. Now the rain fly comes in its own built-in stuff sack. That stuff sack is on the end wall that's going to go at the foot of the hammock. That ensures that the peak is out here over the door. The end walls at each end of the fly have a protective rain sleeve that the hammock's end loop will pass through. Then a loop at the ridge line of the fly is attached to the support toggle. Now this holds the fly in place even in high wind conditions. Once the fly is in place, tighten the support line. Now with the rain fly on, we can go ahead and stake it out. Most hikers are going to be hiking with a hiking pole like this. This will work perfectly with the hammock. You can also use, if you're kayaking, you can use a paddle, you can use a stick if you want. in the peak. This is the hiking pole that I use. This is just one that I made. There are a couple of companies that make hiking poles that extend up to 6 feet. If you want to find out who those companies are, just give me a shout and I can let you know. Several of my clients have already found them, but this just basically extends out to 6 feet if I want. And what I've done is fit it with a little knob that comes off just to help me put my stakes down, which this is very rocky soil, so I am going to be using this. But I'm going to show you first how to stake it out with a standard pole. Under the rainfly is a grommet that the pole will go in. Go ahead and set that into place. Now your stakes are stored in a pocket inside the stuff sack. We'll start at the peak first, then go to the back side, stake out the guy line in the middle, and then start working our way on the corners.
Staking out the peak of the fly in the middle of the back wing first will just ensure that the fly will take its proper shape. Then stake out each corner of the back of the fly, keeping the seam along the back wing taut. Next, stake out the front corners, making sure that the seam that runs from each corner to the peak is also taut.
You can see how this works just by giving me something I can push with.
Now this is how the fly looks set up using just a standard hiking pole. And as you can see, the hammock is very well protected. Now in conditions with a driving rain and wind, the peak can be staked out even lower by taking the pole out and tightening the peak's guy line. This places the front awning of the fly under the doorway of the hammock for even more protection.
Okay, well that's got the rain fly nice and taut. The peak is up, very easy to climb in and out. Now let me show you how to peak it out with a taller pole. Now in order to stake this out using my pole, the first thing I had to do was untie from the top loop, tie onto the bottom loop. This acts as an awning, and I moved the stakes along the front in a little bit closer so that the end walls come in, so once this is peaked out it's not putting too much stress on the rain fly. And now I can get it peaked up to where I can stand inside. Now that it's all set up, just a matter of climbing inside and getting comfortable. Now, I'm a side sleeper. It's the beauty of this hammock. If you're a side sleeper or a stomach sleeper, I think that you'll really enjoy this because it's very comfortable and it's very warm. It's probably going to be getting down to about 40 degrees tonight, maybe into the 30s. And I won't even need an underquilt just with the pad. Again, this hammock has been tested to -2 degrees just with the pad. But the underquilt is coming. Thermal liner. So check back for that. You deserve a good night's sleep. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah.